them in. We do record these sessions so that we can share them later on online for those who weren't able to attend. Just a quick overview of our agenda, and then we'll get going into it. So first, we're going to just do a quick introduction. Then our folks from our shelter team, Rocco and Claire, are going to talk a little bit about what's going to be happening with winter shelter this year. And then Melissa, our HR magician, is going to talk about opportunities to be involved in a professional way with winter shelter. We've got to be hiring a lot of folks, so that's a thing. We'll do some question and answer about or talk about communications and neighborhood meetings related to winter shelter. And then I'll check in a little bit about what happened with the Cedar Street camp clearing. Sarah's going to check in about ways that folks can support. And then, of course, we'll have any time for questions and concerns. But let's just take a quick minute, just going around the window to do a quick introduction. I think we have enough people. We don't have too many people here that we can't do introductions today. And if you could give your name, your connection to the Poverello Center, and because it's pumpkin for the POV season, that is, you can buy your pumpkins now. What is your favorite pumpkin recipe? All right. So I'm going to model. My name is Jesse Jager, he, him pronouns. I am the Director of Development and Advocacy for the Poverello Center. And I'm a sucker for pumpkin pie. I know it's the traditional thing, but it's like my favorite pie. So I have to bring that out there. So how about Jim? Can you go next?
Are you talking about me, Jim? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm not connected directly with Poverello, but I'm very, very interested in the projects that you go through. And I've been providing some help to a guy who's been camping underneath the Reserve Street Bridge for a while, and he's in bad shape. He's great pain, and he needs a house to live in. And so I'm just very curious to see how things are going with you guys. So that's about it. I'm just very interested in what you guys have done. I've been following you guys since you were there in town. Where was you? You were over there by Ryman Street, right, years ago. In fact, there's another fellow I provide transportation to who came into town and stayed with you guys for a little while. That's the second fellow I've been giving rides to. Okay. And I am a tree doctor, so if you have a sick tree, I'm the only doctor in town that makes house calls.
There you go. Thanks, Jim.
If you have a sick tree, give it 2 aspirin, but don't call me until morning.
All right. Hey, Steve, can you tell us who you are?
Steve MacArthur, he, him, his, active with UCC and have volunteered for meals and also donated. Was active with the group that got the Meadowlark going. So quite interested in issues around homelessness. So.
And what's your favorite thing to do with a pumpkin?
Oh. I don't actually like pumpkin as a dessert, but my kids certainly enjoyed carving them when they were young. So
excellent. Well, we'll forgive you.
All right, thanks.
Mike.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Kernan. I'm the data specialist at the Poverello Center. And my favorite pumpkin dish are the Reese's peanut butter cups that are shaped like pumpkins.
Nice. All right, let's go with Georgia.
Hi all.
Uh-oh. We're having issues with people being in the same room. All right, I'm going to skip you, Georgia. We'll figure out your mic situation here in a second. Melissa, how about you go next?
Hi guys, my name is Melissa Dowdy. I'm the HR assistant here at the Poverello Center. I have never really tried any pumpkin recipes, but I think this season, I will be trying some pumpkin soup.
Nice, cool. Raina, and am I pronouncing that right?
You got it. Yep. I'm Raina Sage, she, her, and I'm not directly connected to POV except for I'm a cohort mate with Barry in the MSW program. And I'm just interested in learning more. I work at the Rural Institute for Inclusive Communities. We work with people with disabilities doing research and service across the nation, but also in Missoula.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Zach.
Hello, I'm Zach Malden. I am connected to the POV because I'm employed there, and it's an honor to be. I am the Volunteer and Food Programs Manager. And two things: carving a pumpkin into a jack-o'-lantern, and then making pumpkin bolognese. It's one of my favorite dishes. I'm excited to get back into that. So,
And for all that don't know, Zach is our resident foodie at the POV.
right on.
All right, Rocco and Claire, and then maybe we could get Georgia in on that if that will work better with the mics.
Hey, Georgia, you want to start?
Sure. I'm Georgia. I'm the volunteer and outreach coordinator, she, her pronouns. And my favorite thing with a pumpkin is roasting pumpkin seeds.
Nice.
My name is Claire Bob. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am the shelter manager, and this is
Jay Rocco, assistant shelter manager. He, him. My favorite thing to do with the pumpkin is cut the top off and stick a chicken in it and bake it.
Whoa, that's kind of cool.
Really good.
And Claire, do you not do things with pumpkins? Is that beneath you?
I do things with pumpkins. I like roasted pumpkin seeds.
Nice. All right, Barry.
I'm happy to say that, yes, I'm a classmate of Dr. Sage. I'm a student of social work at the university and doing my practicum at the POV with all these awesome people. I like pumpkin seeds too, but I'll pass and say that if it's Halloween season, you've got to watch the movie Pumpkinhead. It's only fair. I recommend it highly for horror fans.
Nice. Cool. Liam.
Hey, Liam Morrison. Pronouns are he, him, development associate for the Poverello Center. My favorite pumpkin food thing is probably also roasting pumpkin seeds, but this year my favorite pumpkin activity is distributing pumpkins to our sales locations where you can buy a pumpkin for $10 and support the Poverello Center food programs. You can get them at the Good Food Store, the Old Dairy, the YMCA, any Parkside Credit Union location in Missoula, and Imagination and Rattlesnake Market.
Nice job. Good sales pitch. Liam is in charge of pumpkins for the POV this year, if you can't tell. All right, Sarah, how about you?
Hi, everyone. Sarah Penix. I'm the communications coordinator at the POV, and I really love pumpkin baked goods. My favorite is cranberry pumpkin muffins.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. So I'm going to hand it over to our shelter management team here in a second. I'll just say that kind of top line stuff with Winter Shelter, as you've probably seen in the news, or if you live in the neighborhood of the Johnson Street Shelter, you might have gotten a card in the mail. But pending kind of a contract approval with the city that'll be happening over the next couple of weeks, we will be reopening the Johnson Street Emergency Winter Shelter starting on November 1st. And kind of the reason that it's, we just started to announce that right now is we wanted to get the message out to people who live in the immediate neighborhood first, and get these cards out and get that communication done quickly. And now we're starting to talk about it more publicly. It'll be, of course, on the city council agendas for their council meeting at 10 a.m. on this Wednesday, if people want to tune into that. But that's kind of the, where it's going to be stuff, but what's actually going to happen there and why it's important, I'm going to leave that to Rocco and Claire. So Rocco and Claire, we leave it to you guys to tell us all about Winter Shelter this year.
Well, we are very excited and nervous to be once again operating out of the Johnson Street Community Center over at Johnson and North. Our use of the facility is still is born out of the effects of the pandemic. We can only serve 88 people at the Poverello Center and keep everybody properly spaced. And so last year, we needed a larger facility that could adequately accommodate social distancing, and that is still the case this year. So we're collaborating with our partners at the city, county, and other agencies to make sure that, we can serve as many people as possible at Johnson Street this winter. Rocco, do you have anything else you want to say?
No.
Yeah, we're really excited. I'm not sure if I covered everything, Jesse, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Could you talk a little bit about what is going to be a little different this year?
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, in response to some of our experiences last year and feedback from the neighborhood, we're going to be collaborating with a security firm this winter, and the security firm will be just making sure that the neighborhood is safe, kind, and respectful, and that our guests are safe, kind, and respectful in the neighborhood. So we're really looking forward to that change. We think it'll be a really positive change. And yeah, we're getting some security training happening in 2 weeks, and we're really looking forward to working with them. Another change might be some of the, I know we've been working with this city on making sure that the space is, or that the block itself is free and clear of debris and structures that make it more difficult to patrol or and manage. So that's been happening all summer.
Additional cameras.
Yeah, and we've got some additional cameras in place, and so we're hoping it's a successful year over there.
And can you talk a little bit about what were some of the positive things that happened last year with Winter Shelter?
Sure.
Things.
I mean, we kept a lot of people alive.
Yeah.
On our one night we slept over 130 people over there. I think 140 people is about how many stayed with us in those very, very cold days in February. We were able to connect a lot of people with resources they might not otherwise have engaged with. So collaborating with the mobile crisis team, collaborating with other mental health agencies, with the Youth Homeless Demonstration Project, YDHP, Youth Demonstration Homeless Project. In any case, we saw a lot of young people at the Johnson Street emergency shelter last year, a lot of people between the ages of 18 and 24, which is kind of unusual for us. And so being able to catch those people in the building and connect them with housing resources that are designed especially for that population was, I think, a big success. Yeah, I think that's, I don't know if you have can think of any other successes, Rocco.
I just think that we just saved a bunch of lives. Nobody froze to death, and I think that's the largest success that we could possibly ask for.
Yeah, and I would just add that I think that our HOT team worked really well with our shelter team to get as many people in that were in the encampments as possible into shelter. As we know, we've seen a lot of growth in the number of unsheltered people experiencing homelessness in our community. And so that'll be extra important this year. And this will go alongside other efforts that the city and county are doing in terms of authorized camping zones and places like that. That is our hope to provide more services to those of our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness this year. I would say just a couple other things. I know that we served in total, I think it was 592 unique individuals at the Johnson Street facility last year. We will also this year again be doing a hot meal a day over at Johnson Street, and then sack lunches will be available there for folks as well. And it will also operate 24/7 this year like it did last year. So that's the plan. The plan is to operate through the end of March, but then also keep an eye on weather. We've already have kind of funding figured out that if we need to go into April, we will likely do that. And so that's kind of the plan as it stands right now. Before I ask if there's any other questions, I'm going to give Melissa a chance to talk about opportunities for folks to work professionally for the Johnson Street Shelter. Melissa, yep, oh, there you go.
Yep, sorry. So we're looking to hire about 30 staff members, and hiring in Missoula has been kind of challenging for a lot of businesses and organizations in the community. So we are offering a more competitive rate this year. Last year, we started staff at $12.50 an hour, and this year we are offering $15 an hour. Some of our benefits, just if you are able to spread the word and share with any folks that you know are looking for employment, this will be temporary employment as well, as Jesse said, through April 1st. Is that when?
We've got a plan to work through March, but then it could extend into April.
Okay. So regardless of it being a temporary position, we do still have health insurance opportunities, as well as the EAP, Employee Assistance Program, which offers free therapy for our staff, as well as like PTO accruing immediately and IRA benefits that employees can take elsewhere. So that's pretty cool that we have all those extra benefits. We also offer a pretty flexible schedule. We have 3 shifts available. It'll be 7 to 3, 3 to 11, and 11 to 7, the overnight shift. And in order to operate 24/7, as we are hoping to, we are going to need to hire roughly 30 people. Otherwise, we are not going to be probably operational during the daytime. So I really encourage you to spread the word. We have some flyers posted around town. We have job postings on Indeed as well as LinkedIn if you want to refer people there. I'll also put my email address in the chat here, because people can also just email me their resumes directly and I will call them to schedule an interview. And I think that's pretty much the overview that I have prepared. Is there any questions for me?
I don't know if I have any questions, but I would just add that, this is a great opportunity to serve our community and get paid for it at the same time. If folks do have questions, you can, Megan or Melissa put her email address in the chat, and they're posted in that time. And I just encourage you to help us spread the word. Hiring 30 staff is a big lift. And it's critically important. So if you know people that are looking for some temporary employment, I'll also add that, like, oftentimes there's enough turnover at the Poverello Center that if you come on staff at winter, we have a long list of staff that work at the POV right now that are in non-direct care roles that started at the POV as winter staff, but then joined on to stay on permanently. So it won't necessarily end up being temporary. It can be ongoing employment. So, and the POV it's a fun group. We call ourselves Povlandia. We're our own little country. Everybody gets a funny little title. It's a weird place. So thank you very much, Melissa. Before I move off of or to do questions, I just want to say that we will be doing neighborhood meetings for the Johnson Street neighborhood. Sarah, could you put the dates of the date of the first neighborhood meeting that we'll be doing? There's going to be a neighborhood meeting on October 12th in the evening at I believe 7 p.m. That the neighborhood council is going to be putting on, that we'll be attending. And then, of course, there's the city council meetings for folks that want to attend and learn more as well. If you've got questions or concerns about the winter shelter, you can always feel free to give me a call or to send me an email. When we send out the follow-up email to this event, Sarah will make sure that that's out. My information is there if people have questions or concerns about that. So that said, do folks have any questions about winter shelter as it sits?
Hey,
Yeah, go ahead, Barry.
I'm wondering if there's going to be any like door-to-door neighborhood work or in-person neighborhood meetings for folks that may not be aware of the online stuff.
Yeah, so we will be doing an open house on October 28th at the shelter before it opens, and we welcome people to go there. And then the hot team, generally like the week before it opens, gets out and kind of knocks on particularly business doors, but checks in with the neighborhood as well. And then we have a really good relationship with the Franklin to the Fort Neighborhood Action Group, which does a good job of interrelating with us and getting the word out amongst the neighborhood team and things like that. So those are some of the more in-person pieces that'll happen. And they often volunteer for Thanksgiving. They help staff the volunteer at Thanksgiving for Johnson Street, which is fun. Any other questions? Okay, so just moving along, just to say a little bit about the stuff that happened earlier or last week around that encampment that had developed on Cedar Street in front of the YWCA. That had been a situation that had been growing, and we, both the Poverello Center and our partners in the city had started to get increasingly concerned about the situation there, particularly from a health and safety perspective. But we wanted to make sure that that if people got moved away from there, it was done in as humane a way as possible. There's been some experiences with some of the encampments being cleared in ways that were less than humane in our community and other communities in that way. So we worked really hard as a team. Our hot team, our direct care staff, were out there talking to folks, giving folks a heads up. We worked with the city to offer up some gift cards so that people could have some resources, some money to figure out a new place to be or take some resources elsewhere, and then got the space cleaned up. And so we are, I'm proud of our staff for being such compassionate folks and working really hard to make a challenging situation as positive as possible in terms of figuring out some next steps for folks and things like that. So I don't know if you've got questions about that, but we just wanted to make sure to give a little bit of an update. It was a pretty high profile thing in the media, and wanted to offer up a chance for folks to ask any questions if you have them. All right. So Sarah, do you want to talk about opportunities folks can have to support?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're always looking for more volunteers. There's a lot of opportunities to serve in our kitchen, as well as making sack lunches. Also, we have a weekly current needs email that goes out. So currently we are looking for donations of personal care items, wool blankets, socks, and gloves, getting ready for the colder weather. If any of you are interested in getting on that email list, please drop your name in the chat and I'll get you connected to that. Also, during October, as Liam said, so fully, we'll be selling pumpkins and doing pumpkins for the POV. So I believe it's the 16th, we'll be having an event outside of Town Square Media, and that will be buying one, donate one. So giving the donated pumpkins to kids in our community who might not otherwise have access to a fresh pumpkin this season. And then I also just want to let you all know that our next online supporter update is November 2nd. And you can sign up for that through our website where you all signed up for this previous month. Does anyone have questions about that?
Or does anybody like Zach or Georgia have anything to add as well for?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to echo the food programs volunteering. We prepare so much food on a daily basis. We can use all of the volunteers that we can get. I've also been for winter shelter, we're going to be increasing the sack lunch production. Currently, we are using about 600 sack lunches a week, or distributing 600 sack lunches a week, and 400 of those are being prepared by a volunteer group who comes into our kitchen on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and they even bring the sack lunch materials with them, like the bread and meats and cheeses and condiments and stuff. So I am very interested in exploring ideas to prepare for winter shelter and the increase of sack lunches that we're going to be distributing, whether it's more folks coming into our kitchen or leveraging some of the potentially, like if it's a church group and they have a community kitchen or a commercial kitchen and can prepare sack lunches there. I don't know, if you guys are out in the community communicating to people, definitely spread that word. And then I'm looking for a food pantry, several food pantry volunteers to distribute food to folks who come to the POV looking for food to supplement their groceries. They typically have housing in the community and are just trying to make ends meet. And our pantry is completely run by volunteers. So looking for a couple of people or a group of people to commit to an evening once a week moving forward. We want to make sure our pantry remains open through the winter. So those are like I would say our most urgent needs is like the food program, sack lunches, food pantry. And then the last thing I'll say is we are already starting to think about Thanksgiving volunteer recruitment. So we'll need about 50 people the week of Thanksgiving and about like 40 on the day of. So sign up for that's not ready right now, but it will be by the end of this month. So keep an eye out for that stuff as well.
Thanks a lot, Zach.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it. We're down to Jim from people outside of the POV. Jim, do you have any questions or concerns?
Yeah, no, I just appreciate everything you're doing. One of my favorite sayings about Missoula, which I love, is Missoula is the best place to have hard times. A lot of people, they have hard times in their lives, so they think it's their surroundings, so they go to another city. But no, Missoula is the best place to have hard times. And you guys are part of that reason, okay?
Thanks a lot, Jim. We appreciate it.
And I do have to run now. Sorry.